think you are?
I think
okay,
I
well, I
am.
think that mic is on now, so
I
everybody
think
can hear
I'm
you.
ready. Hello.
You want to be about 6 inches from it, and that'll be great.
I hope I'm good with the
Oh,
microphones now.
you look awesome.
I've got microphones
Awesome.
everywhere. This
Fabulous.
is a crazy new place. I haven't been here for a while.
Yeah, it's so much
around me.
nicer than the way it was before.
Well,
And it's getting better every day. Like we all are, right? We're all getting better. Better and better. Every day in every way. So, so tell me, what's going on in your life? What are you doing with poetry and the world?
I was going to say, people probably here don't know enough, if they don't know enough about me. I've been running a poetry open mic that was takeover from David Grumman that started in December '96 that Charlie Newman ran for a bunch of years, and I took it over, and it's been at it's the Cafe Gallery, and it has been at Gallery Cabaret for years. And I've been doing publishing things, and I've been doing all sorts of poetry things, but I've just found out that because of job changes that we are going to be moving to Austin, Texas. So it makes me very sad that this will be the last time we'll be able to see this wonderful, wonderful place.
Oh, it won't be the last
I'll have to come by for visiting. And you know what's
Yes.
really funny? The last time I was here, I was reading a bunch of haiku poems.
Yes.
And I have video copies of them all, but since then I've got a Vine account.
Yes.
And so periodically I'm like, I've got a bunch of 6-second haiku readings. I'm going to put up a Vine post. And so from last September 2014, I've got video that I'm still putting up. So if there's
Nice.
so there might be a chance if I'm going to talk about the more recent book where I happen to talk about being in India.
Yes, India.
I wrote a few haikus there as well, which was an exasperating and strange and fascinating experience.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more about
which
India.
is probably the thing that you probably want to hear about the most.
Sure.
I think I've been a vegetarian for over 20 years now, and when I decided to become one, I happened to be staying at a hotel while driving back after going to see the ball drop in New York. I happened to be staying at the Poconos, and when my 10-year anniversary is coming up, I told my husband about this, and he suggested we go back and get a nice hotel in the Poconos, which is very, very cute,
yeah.
10 years ago. And so I jokingly said, well, what are you going to do for 20 years? What are you going to do? And he, because of his work, has been taking a lot of trips to go starting up another pharmaceutical plant in Visakhapatnam, India. And he said,
wow.
And so he's gone, and of course I haven't, but he said, well, it might not be exactly on your anniversary, but would you like to spend your 20-year anniversary by going to India for a couple of weeks? And I'm like, wow, that would be fascinating.
Wow,
I love
yeah.
it. And the trip was not, it was mostly for his work. So we first stopped, and I made a point to write journal things and take lots of photos and talk about my experience there. And I was taking it from a vegetarian perspective because it was fascinating to go, and you'd go to lines or whatever, and they might have one little table of things that would be for meat, but otherwise whatever you picked. And there are a lot of very similar things, but it was cool that I didn't have to go thinking, is this safe? Do I have to be asking him?
Right,
Which is really,
sure.
really nice, actually.
Right.
But when we were flying in, we made this point to stop in Delhi first, and my husband had to leave early to be able to get for work, so I had stayed with a coworker for an extra day, and we went to the Taj Mahal.
Nice.
And which I've got things about that in here as
Oh,
well.
good.
And which is a thing that I like about this book that I just released called Bon Voyage, which also has Pencilist and Hindi with it. And because guess what? You go to places, hey, I'm going to be at your airport. I'm going to look at your thing, it says Bon Voyage. Well, guess what? Things are in Hindi as well. Or when we were there, Telugu, the local language, because there are, I don't know how many languages in India, and if you go to college, you will probably be learning Hindi as well, and you will learn English, but otherwise you know very small dialects. And this is something that I discovered while I was there, that you would go there and people have a very different idea of how to be able to deal with foreigners, or in particular how to deal with women.
Oh, really?
That did not occur to me when I was going to be going there. Understanding a caste system versus our classes, and the concepts of well, there will be poor, and people will be sleeping underneath stations, and it's much
Whoa,
more
seriously?
much more common. And people who have money and are in that really rich elite
Mhm.
are like you and I financially.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
not like you hear about the famous people in this country. It's not
Mhm.
like that at all. One of the times, and this is one of the reasons why I decided when I was coming here today to make a point to wear the black pearls and earrings that we got from the Visakhapatnam airport.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, Vizag is what most people will call it. I'm getting used to being able to say the name of the town. And I've got my India shirt on, and I made a point to put longer pants on because women at all times, I don't care how hot it is out there, will have their shoulders covered, and they will have long pants on. Which is why a lot of the times you see women that are wearing leggings underneath a skirt or whatnot so that they don't show off their legs. One of the times when my husband went early, I said, your place in Vizag is right off the Bay of Bengal. He's like, yep. And I said, oh my gosh, you've got to go and dip your feet into it. You're right there. You just,
Yeah.
do it. Just go do it. And he was like, resin, all right, fine, I'll do it. And I'm like, yay. I find out after the fact that because of the way they treat sewage and the like, things aren't very clean, and there's probably a lot of sewage, and it's not a very clean thing to be there. But then again, people in India would be playing in that water and going there. And one time, because I couldn't as a woman just be walking around off on my own alone that much, I finally was like, well, Janet, just break down, and you made him do it. Go out there, dip your feet in the water. And so I'm wearing long pants, so I make a point to bring a towel, and I'm going to bring a camera just to prove to him that I did it, which is why you might see on the back cover I've got a shot of my feet. My shadow's in the water. And so I went there, and I'm like looking at the water, and I'm looking at the sand, which is surprisingly orange. And it's the amount of iron deposits. I was like, what is that? Is that from waste? I had no idea what it was. And he's like, it's the amount of iron from the mills and things of just being left there in the water, which I found fascinating, which I had to then take some sand back with me as well. But I went and I was like, well, I'm going to walk in and just walk in, but I didn't see that the tide had gone out. The tide then, and I had my pants rolled up to my knees. Tide came in splashing up over my knees. I'm like, oh, all right, my pants are wet now. Oops. So great. And so I'm like, all right, what's done is done. I took photos. Time to go in. I'm drying off my legs, and I see an Indian, I'm guessing, man with his wife and child. They're walking along on the street. I mean, they're walking around everywhere, but these stop, and the woman and child stop, and the man comes walking over, and he just stops 3 feet away from me and just stops and looks at me and smiles.
Okay.
And I know he doesn't know English, but I'm just like, drying off my feet. I didn't know what to say. And I'm like, what do I do? And I'm like, just started, then walk and get out, and guess what? You're going to be taller than everyone because I'm a tall woman, I'm 6 feet tall. So I'm like, I'm just going to take off at my normal pace, and I will, I don't think they're going to follow me, but I'm just get going, because you don't have the tools to be able to interact, and this might be something entirely normal. For them to, this is something interesting to observe. I'm just going to come over and watch. And that's normal for them, but it's not for us stupid Americans.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. So it's very, very strange. So, but yeah, it was interesting to be able to go, and I felt bad that my husband couldn't go to the Taj Mahal, which it was surprising. And the other things you'd learn about when you're going there is, well, because we're close to the water, there was a lot of fog sometimes, just from driving or whatever. But because of the exhausts of the vehicles, they have cars. They're very, very tiny, but they have them, and they have many. And they have many, many motorcycles, but I would call them glorified scooters. They don't have big cars, big motorcycles or anything like that. And if there are 4 lanes to a road, that means you probably have about 6 wide of people just wedging in and just going anywhere to go. The idea of having lane markers or stop signs seems like a vague suggestion, and that's about all. They honk their horns like mad, and they're ducking everywhere. And people are saying
that make you so nervous.
That's what people thought, and I'm like, well, I'm not driving. these people who are driving know what they're doing. So to me, it just started to become like a symphony of horn honks, because I had confidence that the people driving me knew what they were doing. I think other people were like, that's so frightening, but I'm like, well, at the same time, I was just like, they know what they're doing. And,
Right.
and it wasn't like, it didn't seem to me like the horns were as loud as like loud American, like semi, I mean, there's a bunch of little cars, beep, 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 and some of them would honk to let you know, by the way, I'm cutting in, beep, 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 beep. And so there are all these little horns going off all over the place, and since I'm not driving, I was like, it just became like this shower of horn honks, and since I didn't have to pay attention to it, but it was just really fascinating.
Sure.
A completely different mindset about how to drive.
Yes.
I think recently my husband from another trip, because he has to keep going back there, he put up a photo, and he's like, people who've been to India will appreciate will find the humor in this. And he took a shot from above of people parked, and their little cars perfectly in the center of these big parking spaces, like they're not all crammed together, like with the way they would drive. And I just thought that was the funniest thing, because they're, well, we're going to park like we're supposed to, but get out of my way when I get on the road.
Yes. Yes.
I've been around in a number of places, and I wanted to have stop signs in other languages, and I've had ones, let's say pare and alto, and I have something in Chinese, and I said, I only saw at an airport, did I see a stop sign in Hindi, and I couldn't get a photo of it, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had a photo in Hindi.
Yes.
But my husband at one point, he's like, well, how about this for a stop sign, because this makes sense if you know the roads. It would be a stop sign, and somebody had pasted over a white piece of paper that said 40 miles per hour. Which is like, we're not going to listen to stop signs. Here's a suggested speed you should be going. Because it was just, that was a really funny thing about it. And you'd think it's a whole different mentality. And just because we have a driver's license here, that doesn't mean that you'd be able to have a driver's license in India. You'd have to go through a whole different set of testing and schooling and everything. Which is very strange. But very funny.
It is.
So anyway, I wrote a few pieces, I know, in my journals. And I was like, by the way, I'm having this and this, because it was just so exciting to be
Yes, it
have
is. Sure, I can only imagine.
And after a while, I was like, well, I'm not going to tell you any longer about what I ate. But, and that was one thing. Another thing, because we were right along the shoreline, there were statues of leaders, emperors, and the thing. And the like, I should say, and they would have it in Hindi, and then they would have it in English, and they might say, let me look, I've got a few of them. Renowned Telugu emperor, renowned classical poet. Or, here's the guy's name, commander of modern Telugu poetry. Revolutionary poetry is his forte.
Oh!
Like a third of the names were like people that were like emperors and poets. Freedom fighter, poet.
Incredible. We don't see poets that way. We're like, you're a poet. People are so dismissed.
Exactly.
I was having quite a conversation with Peter's nephew over, Peter lost his uncle who owned a chain of supermarkets.
Mm-hmm.
They come from a whole different subset of culture than what we do.
Yeah.
They're closer to the 1% than we are. And so this nephew is telling me about how he has how he's going for a hedge fund
Mm-hmm.
a career in hedge funds.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And
oh, shrubs and bushes and hedge funds. And I'm playing with words, and I'm a poet, and of course I'm going to do that. And he and his friend are looking at me utterly aghast, like, how can she possibly be so stupid? And
you probably knew what he was talking about, but then you said that, it was very funny.
Exactly.
I like it.
So for a poet to be conceived of, rather than the horror. Somebody who plays with words.
Yeah, and that was like one of the statues of the people. I don't know if I've got him in amongst this. And this is why I bothered to release this book, that it would not only have my journal entries, but it would also have lots and lots of photos of things. And one of the photos of these people that have signs that say freedom fighter poet, or they're an emperor of this and this. One of his poet was a man, and he wasn't in a full garb. He was just wearing like a button-down shirt with the sleeves rolled up and pants, and he was holding a clipboard. And I'm like, that's awesome, versus having all of these people in like get up as being an emperor or whatnot. But there's just somebody there as was like, I'm here, I've got my thing with hedge paper on it, and I'm here to do work. And he was like, that was the poetry is his forte.
Yes.
And it was that guy. I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. I love it. So.
Yeah, it's such a different way of being perceived.
Yes.
Really
And that was the other here's a humorous story from that whole story, from the whole trip. I think I wrote a poem, a short one, a while ago that said that every time I go for a walk, if I'm going for a walk outside, power walking, whatever, I'm wearing a tank top and shorts. And usually once in every time I'm walking down the street, I'm going to get horn honks of some sort. And after my birthday had just passed and I'm getting older, I'm like, honk, honk, somebody's honking at me. And I thought, oh, lucky me.
Yeah.
I'm still objectifiable.
Right.
And so my husband knew this, and when we were in India, he's like, I'm going to go for a walk with you. And he's walking with me, and he says, well, just so you know, all these horn honks aren't for you. Well, no, don't worry, I'm fine with that. And as we're walking, not 10 seconds later, and I said this get out of the way, because one man, local, is walking, and he ends up being 6 feet in front of us as he's walking, and every, I would say 10 seconds, he would stop, literally turn around and just stare at me for 5 or 6 seconds, and then turn back and keep walking for a bit. And then he'd turn around again, and I mean, this happened like 5 or 6 times.
I've never seen anybody do that.
And my husband's like, finds an alley, he's like, let's go. And I'm like, you got it. And he's like, I can't believe it. And I'm like, yeah, you just said, don't worry about the horn. And I've got somebody just staring at me. Awesome. So, like, lucky me, I'm still objectifiable anywhere in this planet. I don't know.
Yeah.
It might have also been
Lucky
something.
John.
It might have been also something that we're insanely tall, but he's with. I mean, I'm with a man, and he was staring at me.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Bizarre.
Yeah, which is where some of the short haiku things came from.
Oh, good.
Oh.
You share them with us.
Oh wow! Now I should see if I can time them so that they're all within 6 seconds, so I can make Vine videos out of them too.
Okay.
This one is called Cover. Cover shoulders, legs. Women are second class, so cover your spirit. Or my extra word one. This one's called Don't. Don't drink their water. Never show legs or shoulders, or go out at night alone.
Oh no.
Exactly. I mean, and it was very. I mean, I thought it was a wonderful idea that I could go there and feel comfortable as a vegetarian, but I didn't feel as comfortable there as a woman.
Right?
Which was strange.
That is strange.
and
Being gender.
the gender bias,
Right. There you go.
I guess, the best way to put it.
Yes. Yes. That was what I was reaching for. Thank you, Janet.
And one of the things that I thought was fascinating, they don't have welfare or things like that we've started later, but they do everything in their power to make sure that everyone has a job. So, someone's job could be to paint stripes on the curbs, hand paint them. We have machines and things that will do things so quickly and simply here, but you go down the street and you find all of these hand-painted curbs. I'm just trying to see. Oh, I don't have photos of my guy with the clipboard. I was looking, seeing if I did.
Oh,
But
so you took pictures?
I sure did. Oh, I sure did. And a lot of them are sitting online at Kuypers.com or Scars.tv in the art section. There's a bunch of India photos from there, which some of them are in this book. And that was something I thought was funny, because I saw at one point there were street lights, and they would take a palm tree frond from somewhere and attach it to a light pole. I mean, like, just take the frond and wrap something around, so the light poles would look prettier or something. I don't know.
Really?
I mean, but you come up with jobs for people to do, which seem to make a mentality of, well, I will do the absolute minimum of what's necessary because there will be something for me employment-wise, and I'll be okay. In different caste systems, this is a different mentality of where jobs and finances come for taking care of your home or whatnot.
Wow.
Actually, that's why I have this one called Poor, which is why I thought of that painting the palm tree frond. This is another short one. Employ poor. Make them hand-print curbs, tie fronds to lights so they look nicer. I know. It is. What? You've got to be kidding. Vizag in Visakhapatnam because there was a naval base that was right there, so you could see things at the end of the area for warship displays and things like that. Or you look out on any given, you're having a thing for, this is the submarine sample of, and it was much less common than the statues of the emperors and poets. but we look out in the morning in the haze of the smog because of all of the pollution from the many little cars, and what they would use for energy for their homes in the town. But you would see frigate ships and other, destroyer ships that would just be out patrolling because, well, they're probably just on patrol and this is what they do, and it's just weird to see.
Yeah.
Which I think I have this in one of the issues of the magazines that I published. This one is actually called Visakhapatnam.
Oh, good.
Destroyers, frigates swarm Visakhapatnam's bay, patrolling beaches. It was strange just to be able to look out the window from your hotel and see this. One of the times when we looked out, I don't know if I was alone for this, there was a helicopter coming, and I'm sure that it was something from Naval Base or something. They needed to be able to circulate water, and there were lots of people hanging out, and they would see them move, but they would drop really low. At one point you would see the depression of the water and see all the helicopter motion and everything to move all of the water around.
Wow.
What exactly was
wow.
that from? It was fascinating, actually.
Yeah.
So
Wild. So poems from India.
yeah.
And do you have anything longer than a haiku?
I have 2 vegetarian poems here that they weren't written in India that I have included in this one. And I've got lots of other poems, actually.
Oh, good.
I've got things from the
Yeah,
past year, and
likewise.
I've got things from my upcoming feature, because I might have one of my last features coming up on August 14th on a Friday
Ooh.
before we might be moving. There's a chance I might be back to be doing a bit of hosting of my open mic, and a chance that I would be co-featuring with my sidekick Bob Brashko for a
Yay.
thing on Wednesday, September 2nd at Gallery Cabaret.
Nice.
Which is right around, 2020 North.
2020 North Oakley.
Yes, and it's right around Armitage and Western.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you
They've
know the
hosted the Wizard there before.
Yeah,
Too.
so
So
that's
our
where
listeners are familiar with the Wizard.
and if
Being at the Gallery Cabaret, so they're familiar with the gallery.
so that's where I've got the thing every other, and my last one will be on Wednesday, May 5th, because I will not be in town for the one on August. I said May, I should have said August, I apologize. August 5th is the last one that I know that I'll be hosting with 2 people that are featuring, Jerry Kennekes and Dina Stewart. I know in 2 weeks I will not be there on August 19th, where Eric Esden and Dave Getchuk of Puddinhead Press will be the features. Actually, that will also be the first episode, the first show at the open mic that Dave Getchuk will be hosting, because he is taking over as host.
And Dave will be wonderful.
I know, he's awesome for it. So,
Yes.
so there's a very slim chance that I might be back, but I don't have to play the role of host if he's going to be there. That's
Right,
awesome.
yes, you get to be the guest.
For the 2nd or the 15th of September. I would tell people that, at least for right now, that if you want to know anything about the 2015 schedule, you can always go to the web address scars.tv/thecafe. And there's a listing for info for that for it.
Nice.
For years I ran it, and I had podcasts, because I think I was the only person that ever did video recording of open mics and features.
Oh, just fabulous.
Because
it's such a wonderful opportunity
I used to always joke.
for poets.
I used to
and
always joke to
teachers.
people like, well, I'm in cahoots with the NSA because I am video recording you. You
Right.
can't escape this. And you're going to be in a podcast, and you're going to be in a YouTube clip. If you have a problem with that, let me know, and I can pull you. And nobody has a problem.
Yes.
I think this happened once. Somebody said,
Yes.
don't do that for me. And I'm, okay, fine. But because of the changes in the move and such, I had to stop the podcast. But while I'm here for this 1 or 2 last pieces, I could at least make a YouTube clip out of it for people. So that's up. So
Nice.
it can be immortalized somehow.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
So, and your next feature is August 14th?
That is the last one. I was going to be reading well, actually tomorrow from Beach Poets, but and I've got a slew of pieces that I've never read before.
Oh, that's exciting.
I'm gonna have to sort through. Like, what am I gonna do? but beyond that, I am also going to be reading at Let Them Eat Chocolate, Poetry's Love Letter, and that is, as far as I know, my last feature.
Wow, Let Him Eat Chocolate. Oh, what a great place to be with GPA.
Yep.
Oh, I gotta get him back on the air. I haven't had him on the radio in a while.
He's not half bad.
He's
been doing a lot of
dynamic.
television time. So
Yeah,
he
he's been
seems to
doing a
be
lot of TV and movies too.
all preoccupied. With
Yeah,
with
it's
it.
awesome.
Yeah, very cool. So, and when he heard, because of course that he had Bob Brashko and Bob Lawrence were scheduled for being the features, it's like, maybe because you're moving, I can get you on to join. And they're like, yeah, sure, join us, that's fine. So I'm wedging in and
Nice,
nosing in from that
yay.
night as well. So
Good.
that should be fun.
Now that location for Let Them Eat Chocolate is on Damon. It's north on Damon.
5600 North Damon, I think.
5600 North
believe,
Damon.
not
I know it's
5300.
north of Foster.
It's north of Foster, but I think
and
it's
south of Bryn Mawr,
I would-
and it's on the west side of the street.
5306 maybe? Yeah, well, look it up online because Let Them Eat Chocolate is there, and they've got a Facebook listing for that, and so I don't
Yes.
have the address handy. So.
Yeah, I'll look for it. I'll see if I can find it and let our listeners know. So, do you want to do a longer piece then from any of your books?
Well, I have to pull the vegetarian thing that I
Okay,
have
okay,
from the
that'd be
beginning.
great. I love that.
You love
And
the
we
vegetarian.
could dedicate it to our little Katie. Katie's a vegetarian too.
Yay!
And my son Vincent is a vegetarian, so.
And, well, I won't say anything about vegetarianism. I just saw Morrissey. I have to talk about Morrissey for a second. He was at the Civic Opera building for a
Nice.
concert, which is where I used to
Wow,
work.
wow.
Which is where I used to work, but like, he was in the more lyric part, but he actually did, which I don't know how much he did this when he was with the Smiths. He actually did the song Meat is Murder. And he had
Cool,
video going the whole time
cool.
showing the death of animals.
Oh,
And I
it's
was
so
like,
disturbing.
oh my gosh, if he's ever done this before, I'm so glad I got to see. It was really disturbing. And I think, my husband was there and he's like, I think there are two types of people that are Morrissey fans. There are people like you, Janet, who get into and understand the whole concept, and no, I didn't become a vegetarian because of the Smiths or Morrissey.
Right,
I have to get that
right.
out. But then there are people who are meat eaters that just think it's cool music, and I think that just set them off, and they were very confused and bothered by that. And yes, I was very bothered by it, but I found it fascinating that he did it. And that music
Right.
would just be going on, and that he
Right.
would just then get on his knees and kneel down in front of the drums while this huge screen is going on, showing stuff going on. I'm like,
Oh,
this
man.
was a great delivery for getting his point across.
Yes.
I thought it was beautiful.
Yes.
I thought it
yes.
was beautiful, but
I didn't realize he was a vegetarian.
Yes, he is. And in fact, I think I had things of him holding his knuckles up and saying PETA. He was a supporter of PETA, and
Nice.
he's had photos with cats on his head and PETA support things, and so.
Oh,
so,
great.
But so I had to share this stupid Morrissey stuff. I'm sorry.
Good.
And in fact,
No, that's all right.
and I'll have to do this other little diversion before I say my vegetarian poem, and that is that last Wednesday we did a segue because our feature was Ross Berman, who is a host of the thing that follows us, Singer-Songwriter Night, where they're playing a guitar and doing, and I'm like, you have great stuff, you should be a feature, and he was. But afterward, because I said it's close to us leaving, this is going to be our last musical performance in Chicago. John and I did a 7-song set. But to start the open mic, we started doing a song by Morrissey called All You Need Is Me. And nobody knew what on earth it was, and I don't think they really quite got, but at the end of the song, it's you don't like me, but you love me, either way you're wrong. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. And so I had to end something and
Sure,
do that
sure,
since
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
leaving.
Yes,
So
yes.
I had to pull that off.
Yes, in Austin, Texas. I mean, well, I was talking to our nephews of the White Beloy,
Yeah.
and they're like, Austin!
Of the yeah, everybody's like, well, you'll have a great music thing there. And I'm like, my brain's not thinking about going there to Russia music. I've got my Chicago roots here. That's what I'm
Right,
thinking.
yeah.
So I don't have anything written about music, but this was that vegetarian one that I said that I would share with you. And I know I've said Everything Was Alive and Dying, which is a long one. I know I've said that on the radio here before, which I would never. It's a long piece, but this one's called On a High Horse Like This. I listened to a hunter from Africa say, "All life is sacred." And he said that after separating a small, thin, non-venomous snake from around a large African hawk-like bird's neck. Because you see, the bird attacks snakes, but that snake couldn't eat that large bird once it died. That would have been a senseless death. All life is sacred, you say. So I couldn't help but think, as a hunter, do you pray for the sacred dead after you've killed it? I mean, I don't usually vocalize when I'm on a high horse like this. And I've had to explain myself to meat eaters that these aren't leather shoes I'm wearing. I'm vegetarian, though I still have to feign a smile and commiserate with meat eaters slaughtering animal, because, you see, I'd look like a fool for having beliefs. People don't like to hear about a moral choice different from their own. I mean, we're Americans. If it's not human, or maybe a dog or a cat, eat it. It's that simple. But I married a hunter, a Marine who served our country, and he told me that every time he killed an animal, a part of him felt a regretful twinge of pain after he killed his prey. The prey that he searched for, with a weapon he could use before anything got close enough to be an enemy. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting on my high horse again. It's convenient that people can get their kill from the grocery store without getting any blood on their hands. Anything to stop everyone from thinking about what they're doing. Because I've heard that killing something makes you feel something. And I thought,
ooh, nice.
I make a point to end it, and I thought,
And yeah,
like you
then,
expect something
fill
more.
in
It's
the
like, no,
blank.
guess what? Think for
You need to
yourself.
think for yourself. Absolutely, I love it.
So yeah, that was the vegetarian one.
Great.
I don't want to make this a vegetarian night.
No,
but it's
that's
becoming
okay.
that.
No, it's important. It's important. I mean, it matters what you put in your body, and it matters that, you know, so if you want to support corporate farming, I mean, the factory farming is just horrific. It's horrific.
They talk about things like well and egg, which you can say as a vegetarian, I like to jokingly say, oh, I support the animals' torture, just not their death, because things are so mass-produced like that. But when you look at stats and they say, oh, this is how much protein and this is how much X and Y is in an egg, I'm not quite sure if those statistics are still accurate. They were back when you got farm fresh eggs from somewhere, and not when you've kept cage-contained animals eating subpar food choices just to be able to churn out as much as they can, as quickly as they can. They're invariably not going to have the same kind of nutrients in them. And when you are giving injections of different hormones and things to different animals for beef and cow and blah, 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 that's going to, I mean, everything has a negative effect. Oh, well, this will make it better. You know, I mean, think about it this way. How many times have we seen on television now, like a mad, for every kind of drug under the sun to take? And, well, guess what? Side effects can be this and this and this and this and this. Contact your doctor of this and this and this. And this could possibly be, and I'm like, why bother trying to put these things in your system? I know people, and this was for my husband for a while. It was, you'd eat meat and you'd feel bad, and so you'd take prednisone or whatever, I don't know the names of the drugs, but you'd take something daily because you would have heartburn. You'd be taking these regular antacid things, and I'm like, maybe the problem is that you shouldn't be medicating yourself on whatnot, but you should be considering what you're actually doing to yourself to make yourself go through that in the first place.
Exactly.
I'm like, what is heartburn? It's what I think. What is heartburn? What is this heartburn of which you speak?
Yes.
I have no idea. But that might just be because I eat really bland foods that you don't have to slaughter. I don't know.
Right,
I don't know.
sure, that makes sense.
So yeah. So,
Yeah.
so
Although in India, I imagine you had some curry.
oh yeah.
And the curry is spicy.
And the thing was, when we were where we were, the companies, the plants that are around there are the thing that's really made this country, or made this city grow into such a thing, and it is because of the Western influence of all of these other companies putting in plants from the West, or from the States, or, you know, that kind of thing. So when we went there, you would go and they would have an Americanized, probably Indian food, versus the States where we have much a little further off Americanized.
Right.
You know, it's,
Right.
so it would be very, still very generic like that. So every once in a while
WZRD.
we would go somewhere to have local food, and it would be fascinating and different to be able to do that as well. But I mean, it was just, and it was also something that's like, well, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to try it. Why not? Because I know it's safe, which is such a novel thing to think. I'm like, well, at least it's safe. I think with the number of times that my husband, I think the last time he was there, was like, I can't keep going back there because I'm tired of having paste with most everything that I'm having, with, you know, having bread and some sort of, I mean, because that's what a lot of this stuff comes down to. And he even jokingly says, he's like, I don't eat meat a lot or whatever, but you crave a hamburger after having to have this for so long. Well, I can't take it anywhere.
Yeah.
Whether or not he would or not.
Right. Aw.
So yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense to me. We have that same battle. I'm the same boat in terms of meat. We try not to eat meat
Right.
at home
Yeah.
because of my vegetarians. And then I have, my husband who is a meat eater,
Meat eaters, yeah.
and Teo who's a meat eater. And then Teo's been having so much trouble with his stomach.
And might it be
That-
about the food you eat?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I can't help but wonder if, because he, of all my children, he eats the worst diet.
And he's got the worst
And
problems.
he's like, I'm American, Mom. That's what he says. I'm American, Mom.
American. I'm American. Yep.
Of course, I eat Oreos and cheeseburgers. I'm American. And I'm like, oh, but that's not real food. He asked me to buy him some cookie cereal. You know, chocolate cookies, something called Crave, chocolate chip cookie cereal. I'm like, I am not buying you chocolate chip cookie cereal. Is that even a thing?
Is that even a thing? That's really funny.
Right? And then I have Katie who's eating shredded wheat. You know, that's all the only ingredient in there.
Yep. I liked Raisin Bran when I was little. I didn't like the fruity cereals. My husband did.
Yeah.
Most kids do, I think. Although I'd have it now. If you have, and they've sugarified their raisins, and I'm like, well, it seems on the sweeter side than usual. Are they trying to appeal to kids by give them more sugar?
Right.
You know, I don't know.
Or maybe it's some way to treat it. I don't know. I know the rats, my girlfriend, her grandfather invented refrigerated railroad cars. And so when he was undergoing that process, they discovered that the rats would break into the food for everything except sugar.
Really?
The rats would never break into the sugar cars because sugar, they didn't like it. Even rats know better.
Even rats know better. Oh,
Seriously.
I like that. That's really funny.
So, okay, so shall we close out with another poem? I asked John, I'm sorry, I messed up your video, but I asked John to pick out some music that he thought might be appropriate for us to close out with for you.
Oh, for me. Well, I might as well say that Patrick Hurley of Water of Life Press occasionally does chapbooks, and he's done ones for Lisa Heminger, and he did one for me where the chapbooks
they're
are all
so
done.
beautiful.
Where they're all done out of paper bags.
Yes,
I was helping
love
them
those paper bags.
and because we talked about
Who
this,
did Patrick Hurley did
Patrick
that for
Hurley
you?
runs Water of Life Press, and so we came up with the Unzip the Body bag, which
bless
is
his
a chapbook.
heart.
I've got a 20.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
I've got a 20 print run of these, and they're actually signed and numbered, which is I
bought a book from Lisa and I never got it.
Well, and I was even just saying, especially because I'm leaving, I've got them
I
there, and I was
paid
thinking,
for it. I'm like, I want a copy. She goes, well, I've run out today. I'll bring one next time. And
well, I was
when
going to say,
did next time ever come?
these last ones that I've got here, in fact, I've got the first of 20 with my name on it here. Or no, this is the last one, 20 of 20 on it. $2. I'm just gonna be like $2 and it's
Nice.
away. But
Okay,
I figured this
mine.
since all right, it's yours. Since I was on a vegetarian kick, I might as well pull this one out of this called "Vegetarian Stands by the Meat Sale." It's raining out, and no one wants to be outside. And if they do come in, they just want to get their bare essentials and get home as quickly as they can. They surely don't want to contend with me just trying to make a living. A huge clock looms at the opposite wall. I keep glancing at the time and think of the huge calendar looking over New York in Atlas Shrugged as everyone is reduced to merely trudging through their days. someone just wished me good luck because I think everyone would rather be sleeping than here. And it's true. I just glanced at the clock again. I'm only 1/8 the way through my day. And this woman, who has chosen not to have children, has to keep smiling despite the weather and fawn over every passing child I see. This vegetarian stands next to the sign saying, "Hot ham is the deli sale today," as employees place baked and fried chicken in packages for sale behind me. I try to smile because it's my job, even though it's raining outside, and the second hand on the clock clicks more slowly today.
Oh, it clicks more slowly today.
You know how that goes.
Oh,
the time
I
just like,
do.
why time is moving so slow.
Oh.
What a human concept of time.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
How time will pass, but yeah.
Yes.
So that's, I'm done with it. I shouldn't be doing I should be done with the vegetarian pieces.
Oh, I love the vegetarian pieces. They're wonderful.
Oh, thank you, thank
And
you.
I'm so glad you came here with them tonight.
And I won't share any periodic table poems with you.
Oh
because-
no, why not? Look at that.
Because
oh my goodness.
I've
Look at
written
that
a
book.
poem for every
Oh.
element in the periodic table.
The periodic table of poetry.
She's looking at a
for
proof
every
copy.
element
Yep.
in the periodic table.
And there are some bonus poems like hydrogen cyanide, because you always have to talk about Cyclone B or something. You know, it's amazing how you'll find elements everywhere under the sun, or white phosphorus from Vietnam, and you know, and so that I've got all sorts of crazy references in this. Or
Nice, nice.
so yeah, I figured I'd show that off. But I think you had a music choice, or I don't know if you do.
Well, do I, John?
Do we
maybe
have,
you
do we have a
come up with
music chooser on the
with
clock?
the music? He might be just lost in the Wizard collection.
He came wandering looking through. What?
It's experimental, track 3.
Oh, okay. Track 3, experimental.
About 20 seconds in.
Track 3,
About
20 seconds in.
Started.
The microphones, track Erie. Okay, we'll see. Let's see if I can get it to play. Sometimes this CD player is a little funky. We just got new CD players
Who
here,
is it that's experimental?
which is nice. It's the microphones.
Oh.
And the name of the CD is Mount Erie. And we'll give it a shot. Here at the Wizard, where you never know what to expect. Like a world-class poet like our Emperor, Janet Kuypers. Thank you. That was great. What an interview. We got
I'm like, I'm over there.
7 minutes left on my recording device.
It's an
Do you want to
index.
stop it and start it? Do you want to, is there more time for me or no?
No, we should close it up.
It's index storage of the CD, so it's like they're in alphabetical order. They're not sorted.
No, they're not sorted.
And I'm
It's
like,
it's like a deck of cards tossed up on
Let
the
me
air.
pull this
in
one
the
out.
air.
It says the sun, the solar system, the universe. And
That's
that one's the universe. And I'm like,
I like
okay, how do I know what it sounds like? There's a computer. Put it in there.
Oh, good coded. So you previewed it. Nice.
If you wanted to have a little bit of the upcoming feature, I can do it. This one.
Sure.
That was the one
Yeah.
that said
Sneak
make me
preview.
cry. Yes. Is that one not recording?
It's not.
So is that one still on?
Okay. So we'll get a sneak preview of your feature.
What is I know to be my last feature. There might be something else.
And I'm not going to play this whole thing because I won't have enough room. But
Leave it up.
okay, so I'm just going to. You're listening to WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM. And I'm returning to our interview with Janet Kuypers. And Janet is going to give us a sneak preview of her last poetry feature here in Chicago before she moves to Austin, Texas. It's just hard to imagine the poetry world without you here. We're going to miss you.
Thank you. That's why I hope Dave Echical will be a good takeover for the open mic at least.
Oh, yes, he will.
And I'll still be running the literary magazines of CC&D and Down the Drift through Scars Publications online at scars.tv. So.
And you'll find a place to read poetry in Austin,
There are
Texas.
plenty of open mic things. It doesn't mean I'm
Sure.
going to be starting running one. I don't know
Right,
what's going on.
right.
But yeah, this is one of the three that is very short, and I'm going to make sure that I don't cry for this one. That's very sad. This one's called Ever Leave Me. If death ever consumed you, if your soul were to leave, if there was something out there insidious enough, evil enough to snuff you from this earth and force us to go on without you, well, what would I do? As you departed, I would hold you until your heart stopped beating. And then I would hold you tighter until your brain no longer functioned. Because I would want your thinking mind to know that I would hold you fiercely and never let you go.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She gets a little emotional.
Yes, a little bit. I'm getting emotional here myself.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Sure.
But that was a short one, because I'm not going to be reading the long ones. So,
Yeah. Wow. 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 Beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us here today at the Wizard, and I'm really grateful that you were able to come in.
I'm
I'm looking forward to your next couple of features. You got one tomorrow, 12:30.
on the beach.
On the
Woo.
beach, and then you have another one on the 14th of August at the, let's see, Let Them Eat Chocolate, and that is at 5603 North Damon,
Yeah.
right?
And that's my last technically scheduled feature. There's a thin chance that I might be back for a couple of weeks, and I might be sharing a feature with my now co-host Bob Rashkow at the Cafe Gallery at Gallery Cabaret on Wednesday, September 2nd. Otherwise, it's just him. But there's a chance I might be here. I'm not sure when I'm going to be leaving yet. So all the technical crap I don't know anything about.
Sure, it's hard. Moving is so hard.
Yeah.
It's just stressful.
Selling the home, yeah. Craziness. So.
Yes, I'm with you. I feel you deeply, and I'm so glad that you were able to bless us today with your work. Thank you for coming
Thank
in.
you for giving me the space. Thank you very much. And thank you, Chicago. Thank you all.
It's historic that we've had Janet Kuypers come in here today. Listening to The Wizard, WZRD Chicago, 88.3 FM, where you never know what to expect.